Commissioner Gordon, Bane has escaped.
Waiting for the perfect moment to begin your journey is a trap that keeps your soul locked in a state of permanent hesitation and fear. You might think that gathering more data or waiting for a sense of calm will help you succeed, but the truth is that clarity only comes through the heat of direct action. The world does not reward the person who has the best plan on paper, but the one who has the courage to step into the dark without a map. You must trust that your hands will find the way once you have committed your entire heart to the movement forward. This willingness to be messy is the only path to becoming a master of your own destiny and your own future name. A sense of total preparation is often just a mask that hides a deep dread of being judged by a world that values the finished product over the raw process. If you wait until you feel fully capable, you will find that the opportunity has already passed you by and left you standing in the dust of someone else's wake. You have to be willing to look like a beginner and make mistakes that others can see if you ever want to reach the level of a true expert. This lack of polish is not a sign of a lack of talent, but a sign of a spirit that is brave enough to grow in the light of day. You are building a life that is based on the reality of effort, rather than the fantasy of perfection. The fear of making a wrong turn often keeps individuals from moving at all, which is the only mistake that can never be fixed by hard work. You must realize that a moving vessel can be steered in a new direction, but a ship that is anchored in the harbor will eventually rot and sink without ever seeing the open sea. Every step you take, even the ones that feel clumsy, provides you with the raw data you need to adjust your course and sharpen your intent for the next day. You are not losing time when you fail. You are simply paying the tuition for a high-level education that no book or lecture could ever provide to your mind. Confidence is a byproduct of doing the hard thing when you are still shaking with the weight of the unknown and the pressure of the moment. You do not build a steady hand by reading about courage, but by forcing yourself to stay in the arena when every cell in your body is screaming for you to run away. This internal grit is what allows you to handle the massive challenges that will eventually come with your success and your rise to power. By starting before you feel like you have a grip on the situation, you are proving to your own mind that you are capable of surviving the friction of a real life. You are the architect of your own bravery and the judge of your own speed. The secret to reaching a goal that seems impossible is to simply begin the labor before your mind has a chance to talk you out of the effort. Your brain is designed to keep you safe and comfortable, which means it will always find a reason why today is not the right day to take a risk or start a business. You must learn to bypass this survival instinct by moving your feet before the excuses can take root in the soil of your thoughts and slow you down. This rapid response to your own intuition is what separates the creators from the consumers who spend their entire lives waiting for a green light that never comes. Your action is the only truth that matters in the end. Building a great life is a lot like trying to find your way through a dark forest where the trees are thick and the path is hard to see. You must be willing to put your shoulder into the work and push forward until you feel the solid surface of a problem you cannot get past with just force. This barrier is not there to stop you, but to tell you that it is time to stop pushing and start thinking about a new way to move. When you hit that surface, it is a clear sign that you have done all you can with your old tools and your old habits. Your effort has finally brought you to the edge of the person you used to be and the person you are becoming. Taking a break when you are stuck is not a sign of being lazy, but a smart move to let your mind catch its breath and find a new angle. If you keep banging your head against the same hard stone, you will only end up tired and hurt without ever making a dent in the obstacle. By stepping away for a while, you give your brain the space it needs to build a ladder out of the ideas that come to you in the quiet. This rest is actually a very active time for your spirit, where the solutions to your biggest headaches start to take a real and solid shape. You are giving yourself the gift of a fresh start so you can climb over what used to hold you back. The secret to winning is learning how to move between the heavy lifting of the day and the quiet dreaming of the night. You cannot have a big life without the hard labor that tests your grit and shows the world that you are serious about your goals. This daily grind is the resistance that makes you tough enough to handle the success when it finally arrives at your front door. At the same time, you need the creative spark that only comes when you are not under the thumb of a clock or a boss. When you find the balance between doing and dreaming, you become a person who can solve any problem that life throws in your way. Every hard wall you face is actually a teacher that is showing you exactly where you need to grow if you want to reach the next level. If the road were always flat and easy, you would never learn how to build anything of your own or how to lead a team through a storm. You should be glad when you find a challenge that makes you stop and think, because that is the moment when your real education begins. The ladder you create in your downtime will be the very tool that sets you apart from everyone else who just gave up when things got difficult. Your struggle is the very thing that is making you a person of real value and weight. A sense of calm power comes when you realize that every time you are blocked, it is just a chance to find a better way to win. You do not have to feel like you are failing just because you do not have all the answers right this second. By trusting that you will find a way through the quiet, you can stay steady while others are losing their minds over the smallest of problems. This approach to your mission is what ensures that you will not burn out before you reach the finish line of your own long and beautiful journey. You are learning to move with the flow of life instead of fighting against it every single hour of the day. Your creative spirit needs the pressure of the hard work to wake up and start finding the answers that will change your future for the better. Without the daily effort, your mind would stay soft, and you would never find the depth needed to create something that the world actually wants or needs. You must be willing to work until you are tired, because that is often when the best ideas finally have the room to show up and surprise you. When your body is quiet, your mind can finally speak the truths that were hidden by the noise of the day and the stress of the grind. You are a builder who knows the value of a good and honest sweat. Building a name that lasts requires you to be just as serious about your sleep and your peace as you are about your office hours. You cannot win the long game if you fall apart in the middle of the race because you forgot to take care of the engine that drives your life. True masters know when to hit the gas with everything they have and when to pull over to look at the map and see where they are going. This back and forth between the act of working and the act of resting is what makes a life that is full of both money and happiness. You are protecting your fire so that it can burn for many years to come. Real progress often looks like a lot of nothing is happening while you wait for a new and better idea to strike your mind. You have to be okay with the silence and the waiting, knowing that your brain is still working hard on the ladder that will get you over the next big hump. This period is not a waste of your time, but a season of growth where you are gathering the energy you need for the next big jump forward. When you finally move, you will do so with a speed that will amaze everyone who thought you were just sitting still and doing nothing. Your patience is a sign of your own high standards and your deep faith. Access to the entire sum of human knowledge is now sitting right in the palm of your hand every single hour of the day. In the past, you needed to be born into a certain family or live in a specific city to get the secrets of a trade or a business. Today, the walls have been torn down, and the only thing standing between your current life and the one you dream about is your willingness to learn. You do not need a massive bank account to start, because the tools to build a digital empire are often free or very cheap to use. The internet has leveled the ground so that the person with the most drive and the best skills will always win the prize. Believing that luck is the main reason for success is a convenient lie that allows you to stay comfortable while your potential remains untapped. When you realize that every win is actually the result of a specific set of abilities, you take back the power over your own future. You can choose to spend your time scrolling through noise, or you can choose to master a craft that the world is willing to pay for. This shift in focus turns you from a passive observer into a creator who can command their own value in the open market. Every hour you spend practicing a new skill is a direct investment in the freedom you want for your family and your name. The ability to write code or design is far more valuable than any inheritance, because a skill can never be taken away or lost in a market crash. If you lost everything today but kept your expertise, you could build it all back from nothing using just a laptop and a Wi-Fi connection. This reality should give you a deep sense of peace, because it means you are no longer a victim of the economy or the whims of a boss. You are the owner of a portable asset that grows more powerful every single time you sit down to do the hard work of learning. Your mind is the ultimate bank that never runs dry as long as you keep feeding it new and useful data. The marketplace does not care about your background or where you went to school as much as it cares about the problems you can solve right now. If you can deliver a result that makes someone's life easier or their business more profitable, they will gladly hand over their gold to you. This is a very simple and honest way to live, because it puts your fate entirely in your own hands and your own effort. You must stop waiting for a lucky break and start building the talent that makes luck a secondary part of your story. When you are the best at what you do, the world will beat a path to your door regardless of who you are. Many individuals are still waiting for a sign or a special invitation to start their journey toward a life of true independence and high purpose. They do not realize that the invitation was sent the moment the world was connected by fiber optic cables and satellite signals. You have the same tools as the biggest players in the game, and the only difference is how much time you are willing to spend in the chair. Learning a complex skill is a form of labor that pays off in a way that manual work rarely can in the modern age. You are the architect of your own career path and the judge of your own daily output. A deep focus on becoming excellent at one specific thing will open more doors than 1,000 hours of wishing for a better situation ever could. You should treat your learning sessions as a sacred ritual where you shut out the world and focus entirely on the nuances of your chosen craft. This level of dedication is rare, which is exactly why it leads to a level of reward that the average person will never understand or reach. When you master a skill that is hard to learn, you eliminate the competition, because very few are willing to endure the struggle of the beginning. You are carving out a space for yourself that is protected by the depth of your own knowledge. The internet provides you with a global stage where you can share your work and find the people who are looking for exactly what you have to offer. You are no longer limited by the small town you grew up in or the low expectations of the people who knew you as a child. This reach allows you to find a niche where your specific talents are highly valued and needed by a massive audience of buyers. By sharpening your skills, you are making yourself a beacon that can be seen from across the world by those who are ready to pay for quality. You are building a legacy that is not bound by physical borders or old ways of thinking. Every minute you spend learning a new way to provide value is a minute you have stolen back from a system that wants to keep you small. You must be ruthless with your attention, because it is the most valuable currency you have in the digital age, where everyone is fighting for a slice of it. When you direct your focus towards skill building, you are telling the world that you are a serious person with a mission that matters. This intent acts as a magnet that pulls the right opportunities and the right people toward you as you grow in your expertise. You are no longer waiting for life to happen to you, but making life happen through your own hands. Wealth in the modern era is a reflection of how well you can use the digital tools available to everyone to create something that is uniquely yours. You do not need to be a genius to win. You just need to be more consistent and more curious than the people who are looking for an easy exit. The road to the top is paved with late nights spent staring at a screen and early mornings spent practicing the basics until they become second nature. This grit is what separates the winners from the ones who just talk about what they are going to do one day. Your future is being written by the keys you press and the ideas you bring to life. Feeling sad or lost often happens because your brain is like a garden that grows whatever seeds you spend the most time watering with your thoughts. Since you were a little kid, everyone around you has been dropping seeds into your mind about what you should care about to be a success. They told you that getting a certain job, making a certain amount of money, or looking a certain way was the only path to being happy. Because you believed them, you have spent years focusing all your energy on those things, but you never stopped to ask if those people actually had a life you wanted. You are living by a set of rules written by people who are often just as confused and tired as you feel right now. Your attention is the most valuable thing you own, because it decides what your daily life actually feels like from the inside out. If you spend your whole day looking at what other people have or worrying, if you are doing enough to please your family, your mind will become a place of stress. You have been taught that the loud voices on the news or the photos on your phone are more important than the quiet ideas in your own head. This training is so strong that you do not even notice you are choosing to look at things that make you feel small and empty every single day. You have to take back the power to choose what you care about and let the rest of the noise just fade away. Realizing that the adults and leaders you looked up to might not have a clue about what makes a person happy is a huge turning point. Most of the advice you get is just a repeat of what they were told by their own parents, who were also just trying to survive and fit in. They aren't trying to lead you astray on purpose, but they are trapped in a world of fear and safety that has nothing to do with your big dreams. When you see that they are just guessing their way through life, the pressure to live up to their standards starts to vanish into thin air. You are finally allowed to stop running a race toward a finish line that someone else drew for you a long time ago. The heavy weight you feel in your chest is often the result of trying to be a version of yourself that was never meant to exist in the first place. You have spent so much time trying to make other people proud that you have forgotten what it feels like to be proud of your own work and your own choices. It is time to stop asking for a map from people who have never left their own front porch and do not understand the fire in your soul. Your mind is your own space, and it is your job to clear out the junk that other people left there so you can finally see clearly. You are the only person who knows what it takes to make your own life feel like it actually belongs to you. Finding true peace starts the moment you decide to stop looking at the crowd and start looking at the work that makes you feel alive. You have to be brave enough to say that the things the world calls important are actually boring and do not help you grow into a leader. This change will feel strange at first because people might think you are acting weird or being selfish for not following the old rules anymore. By choosing to focus on your own skills and your own joy, you are starving the doubt that used to keep you awake at night, wondering if you were good enough. You are building a new way of living that is based on your own truth instead of a lie you were told to believe. Checking where your values came from helps you see that most of your stress is coming from a desire to win a game you do not even like. You have been pushing yourself to reach a goal that was picked out for you by a society that wants you to be a quiet worker who never asks for more. When you really look at the people who gave you these rules, you will see they are often stressed out and not very happy with their own lives. This discovery is the key that lets you out of the cage of trying to be normal so you can start being the person you were born to be. You are the boss of your own thoughts and the only judge of what is actually worth your time. Your brain becomes a mirror of the things you think about most, so you have to be very careful about the stories you tell yourself when you are alone. If you keep telling yourself that you have to be perfect to be loved, your mind will be a place of constant fear and a sense of failure. But if you decide that your own progress and your own peace are what matter most, your mind will become a place of power and focus. You have the power to change your whole world by just changing where you put your attention every morning when you wake up. This is a simple and real way to take back your life and start building a future that is truly your own. Stopping the habit of looking for a pat on the back is hard work because you have been trained to want approval since you were in school. You were told to feel bad if you did not fit the mold that was made for you by people who do not even know your real heart. This feeling of not being enough is a tool used to keep you quiet, but it loses all its power once you decide that their opinions do not matter. By focusing on your own goals and your own sense of what is right, you are building a wall that keeps the world's noise out of your head. You are becoming a person of substance who does not need anyone else to say you are doing a good job. The rest you have been looking for comes when you stop trying to fix problems that are not yours to solve and focus on your own path. You have been carrying the weight of everyone else's ideas on your back like a heavy bag of rocks that you were told you had to carry forever. Dropping that bag is a brave move that will make you feel lighter and faster than you have ever felt in your entire life. This new energy is what you need to start moving toward your own goals with a level of focus that will surprise everyone who stayed behind. You are finally moving to your own beat and your own drive toward a win that is actually real for your name.